We are going to continue with string method today. And today we are going to focus on search. How do you search a string to retrieve either a value or check if a value exists or check the index of a word within a string? So we are going to look at index of. So it's also a string method, but this one is used for searching. So if we have word like JavaScript is good, and we want to know the index of this good, or the index of this is, or the index of this JavaScript. When I mean index, you remember how I said you can access item within a string using the index. After, when you put the square bracket, you can put the index. So if you put index 0, it's going to give you console log index 0 of this word. You see, it's going to give you J. So that is what I mean by index. So if we want to look for, say we are looking for a particular word or a particular letter within this sentence, but we don't know the index. So we can't just be guessing one, run it and guessing. So instead of guessing, we can use this string method called index of. So index of takes a parameter, which is the string that you want to search for. That's the first parameter. It can also take optional parameters, which is the position where to start the search from. So if we want to know the index of this is, we put in is here. And when we run this code is going to return the index of that is. Now, remember, we search for a word. So when you search for a word, it's going to return you the first letter, the index. Because when you do something like this, remember this said 11. If we try to access 11 here, you are going to get I. So it's not returning you all the index individually. So it's going to give you where to start to get your is. Is it clear? Unless we put in something like V, only V, we want to know the index. So if we run this now, it's going to give us 2, which if you plug in 2 here, is definitely going to give you a V. You see that? So you use this index of to search for the index of a given substring. Can be one letter, it can be multiple letters. If we put in good, it's going to search to make sure that there is good from where the G starts, then it will return the G index for you. So this is 14. So I told you it has second parameter, right? So now when index of start searching, it starts from 0 by default. So we can also tell it to start from maybe 10. So if we run this, it will still give us the same 14, but it didn't start the search from here. It started the search from maybe somewhere around here. So for example, if we say we should look for V again, in this case, starting from 10, it's probably going to give us -1. So -1 is the value returned when the search string is not found. So it's going to give you -1. If it's not found, the value will be -1. If it is the first letter, J, if you're looking for J now, tell it to start from 0, it's going to return, let's remove this position. Okay, there's no J. Remember that JavaScript is case sensitive. So it's capital J that is available, and you see the position is 0. So take note of that. It is case sensitive when doing the search. So the next one is last index of. Last index of. This is also a string method that is used for searching. And this will return the index of the last occurrence of a specific text. Now, there's something I didn't mention about index of. In index of, when you search for something like A, remember that we have 2A in here. When you look for A, what index of will do is it will return the index of the first occurrence. So this index 1 is referring to this one and not this one. So you should take note of that. But last index of will return the last occurrence of the search word. So if we are doing this again, and we said it should use last index of. Now, look at the two results. The first one is 1, the second one is 3. We looked for the same A. So this one returns the first one, occurrence, and this one returns the last occurrence, which is this. Both work the same way, in which means they are looking for the index of a given search. And you can also put parameter 2 for looking, that is where to start, the index where to start the search from. So just a quick recap. Index of returns the index, that is the first occurrence of your search key. Then last index of return the last occurrence of your search key. That's on that. The next one is search. Search is also a string method that is used for searching item in a string. And this one searches a string for a specific value and returns the position of the match. Do you understand? It's the same. It's the same like index of. So when we search the same word dot search, so when you are searching, it can take the items that you are looking for, which is, let's say we are looking for is. When you run this, you see you get the same 11. If I'm correct, if I remember correctly, this is the same value that last index of also returns. So search and index of are similar. So you might say, is index of and search equal? Can you just ignore one and use only one? Why do we have search when whereby is returning the same position? Well, they are not the same. The search method cannot take a second start position argument. Remember, I told us that with your last index of and index of, you can choose a position where to start your search from, which is the second argument. But search does not take second arguments. So your index of cannot also take regular expressions, but your search can take regular expressions, thereby giving you more power of the kind of things to search for. Right. The regular expression we will discuss later sometimes in this course, but just note those differences. So that is that on search. The next one is match. Match is also a string method for searching. This one will search for a string for a match against a regular expression and return the matches as an array object. Remember I told you something about regular expression. So this match uses that regular expression to look for all the matches and return them in an array. This is the question you asked about peculiar. If you have more than one and you want to get all of them, this is your candidate. Use match. So if we do something like console log word.match. Now, this is how to pass in your regular expression. So you start with slash, then you put in the string that you want to look for. Say we want to look for A. Now, when this G here means global, it will search everywhere in the string. Now that this regular expression can be complicated, so we are just going to keep it simple. So this is the syntax of a regular expression when you want to pass it to match. So you see this one, you see the log, it returns the two existence of the A. So note, this one does not return index. it just picks out all the matching value that you put in here. Now, it's not only alphabet, you can also put word, which is. If we look for this, you see that it only returns 1, which means is only occurred once in this alphabet, in this sentence, sorry. So when we searched A, it returns 2 because there's a 2 occurrence of A in this sentence. So that is what match does. Can we search with string like others? Of course, but see how the results look like. Because it's not a regular expression, one, it returns an object that contains the search key, and it also holds the index where to find it. So if we search for A that has multiple, you see it returns the first occurrence with more information. So if you want to enjoy the power of match, you use regular expressions in order to give you good result. Now, let's do one more example with using match and regular expression. So remember, this is global, but this is case sensitive. So if we put for a country, see this A and this small a. If we search for this, it's not going to return the capital A because they are case sensitive, because this is A. But if we want to include this A, we can as well write more complex regular expression. Let's see. This could be tricky sometimes to get the regular expression syntax. So if you search for only A, you'll get that A. Now, if we want to search for this small letter and capital letter, if you want it case insensitive, you put I to the G. So G means global, I means it should be case insensitive. So with this one, you should get the 3 results of the actual occurrence of A in the sentence. There are lots with regular expression, so let's not go deep and get us confused until we get there. So the next one we're going to check is includes. Includes. Include is also a string method that checks if a particular string is included in the search sentence. So it returns true if a string contains a specific value. So this includes returns a Boolean result, either true or false. So if we say word dot includes is, if we run this, you get true because it includes is. What if we include 4? Does it include 4? It's true, because 4 is there. What of space? Of course, it is false, because there's no word like space in this sentence. So you use include to check the existence of a word or a character in another string. There's another one called start with. Start with is also a string searching method that checks. Starts with is a string method that also checks if a string beginning or if a string begins with a specific value. And it also returns a Boolean result, which is true and false. So if we do word.starts with, does it start with JavaScript? Remember case sensitivity. So this one will definitely give us false. But if we put in the right one, it gives us true. So this starts with JavaScript. Does it start with is? Of course not. So it's going to give you false. As we have start with, we also have ends with, which is the opposite of start with. So you want to check if it ends with is. If you run this, it's going to give you false. But if you check for country, it's going to give you true, because that's the word that ends it. So that is straightforward. That's about the methods that you can use to do search in strings. The one I'll quickly also discuss with us is string templates. Remember, in our previous endeavor, when you want to console log, let's say var name equals to Lovett, var age equals to 28, console.log, maybe we want to print hello, and for us to add Lovett, we use plus name, right? And if we want to add more sentence, we are going to put plus hello Lovett, you are plus age, you are 30. So we do this with our pluses, and you get this build-up string. Now, this is where string template comes into handy. Is very, very useful to use it here. So string template start with backtick. You use backtick to make a string template. So if we want to repeat this same thing that we did with templates, we can use backtick like this, and we can write everything inside. Hello. Then instead of plus name, you can use dollar sign followed by square bracket to put in the variable that you want to substitute value with. So in this case, he's going to pick this name of variable and slot it in here. So it's called interpolation. So if you want to replace or reference a variable, you use dollar sign followed by the square brackets, then put in the name inside. You cannot do something like this, referencing two variables. If you want to reference multiple variables, you make another one. So for the sentence we are writing, the next one is you are, then put in the age. You are 30. So do you see the difference between the pluses and the string templates? With the templates, we can have more flexibility. So if you run this, you see that the value is the same. With string template also, we can write multi-line. Let's say we want to write some sentence. Sentence, say, Robert is, then you want to span it into multiple lines. Is a good friend. You see, with this template, you can do something like this. But with your normal string, you cannot do this. You see that the color changed. You can't do multi-line with single quote or double quote. So you can do this. Console.log sentence, and you get it. You can also, in string templates, you can also add something with apostrophe. For example, friends, something like this, and you will not have issue. See that. With this one, you can also put apostrophe if your string quote is double quote. You can do this and you get the same thing, Rovettes. If you are using single quotes outside here, you cannot use this like this. It will throw an error. But for you to use it like this, you have to do backspace to backslash to escape this particular apostrophe, to let JavaScript know that this one is meant to be part of the string. So you can use backslash to escape stuff and you get the same thing, the same result. But this is not as smooth as using double quotes like this, and you don't need to escape anything. So I just want to put that out there so you know that they exist and you can do them. Any question with string templating?
No question.
All right. with string templates also, you can put in your HTML tags inside also. Not the same way with quotations. So, but string template makes it easier to work with HTML tags. All right, for task 10, use this word, we are learning JavaScript, to perform the following operation. 1, check the index of learning. 2, check how many times A appeared in the string. This is a sentence A, that is a letter A. How many times does it appear in this given string? So also check if the position, if from position 10, the string starts with learning. If you search from position 10 in this string, if you search from index 10, does it start with learning? Search for the last index of I.